Hello, and welcome to our today's class. In this class, we are going to build scenes, hard sources, and map mics. What we'll do, we'll create one scene, put all the sources in, and also the filters, probably in a different class. So we'll build one scene fully. And once we do that, we will duplicate that scene 2 times, and then we'll make a few changes on those duplicated scenes, and then that way it will reduce the amount of work that we have to do on each scene. The scene is the camera. So scene 1 could be camera 1, scene 2 could be camera 2, and scene 3 could be camera 3. The idea is to basically switch each camera. So think of it as each camera a scene, and we have 3 cameras that we are working with. So that's the overall idea. As we even proceed to other units where will be the filters, keep that in mind. We are building one scene and then we'll duplicate 3 times, and then we'll change what kind of camera in each scene. That way it reduces the amount of work we have to do on each scene. So what you can see here right away is we have scene 1, and then the sources here you can see is empty and it's completely empty. So what we need to do is click the plus button under sources. And the first thing we want to do is add ASIO input capture. It's the first microphone. So you click on that. And you can rename it here to something like, say, host mic. And then click OK. And now this window that opens here, it wants you to map the mic. As you can see here, OBS just added a host mic automatically here in the audio mixer, so we can mount our audio. But as I speak, you can see nothing is happening. It's because we have not mapped the audio. So on devices, you click on the drop down menu and you want to select ASIO for all V2. And then when we look at the drop down menu here, you can see you have multi-track 1 through 16. It is possible that when you try to select OBS channel 1 or channel 2, you do not have these options. Maybe you just have the mute and maybe something else, but not Pro 2 main multi-track 1 all the way to 16. If you do not have that, that means that you need to go to this control panel here. Click on that control panel and you see these options here. You see this power looking thing here and a play looking icon, these two. You want to make sure they are active and they are in the same line as the Rodecaster Pro 2 main multi-track. That is very important. So if these two icons, they are over here, you want to click down here so they can get activated. Like for example, if I click down here, you can see that it moved. So let's say yours is right here. You want to map it to whatever system you're using. So in my case, it will be Procaster 2 main multi-track. So I have to click that and make it come there, up there. And you can see it gets two activated here. So that's a good sign. So if you are not seeing, you can exit here. So if you are not seeing or you do not have these options, make sure you come to the control panel here again and make sure these two icons, they're active and they are lined up with the Rodecaster Pro 2 main track. And then you exit and now you should be able to get this if you have done everything correctly from the beginning. Off the bat, I want to tell you that you should never use multi-track 1 and multi-track 2. I believe those are reserved for something else. So always start with multi-track 3 going down. So for the for the host mic, let's select Pro 2 main multi-track 3. And when we select that, we can see nothing happened there. So let's try number 4. Still nothing happening here. What about number 5? Now when you select 5, you can see this movement. So that means that mic is tied to multi-track 5. So now OBS channel 1 is multi-track 5. OBS channel 2 here, we need to select the same channel 5. You can think of this as left speaker and right speaker. Right speaker and left speaker. If you only have one selected and the other one not selected, and you don't have like two bars moving here, it's like when you're playing music in your car and the music is only coming on the driver's side speaker. But if you select both of them as this, multi-track 5, then you'll be able to hear both on the driver's side speaker in a car and passenger side speaker in the car. So that's what it is. And you can see both of them are active. And I know I'm explaining this in layman's language, so for those who are beginners, they can understand what this is all about. So click OK. The next thing is I'm going to add a guest mic. And the reason, even though we are dealing with the scene for the host, I like all the mics to be monitored in each scene. And in fact, as I explained before, each scene represents where the camera is facing. So we are working on the camera for the host. So we can actually rename this scene here to host to host. So we can right click and say rename. And we'll rename this as host. You can just call it host. Should we call it host view? Let's say host focus. Meaning the camera is focusing on the host. And as I said, I like to add both host and guest mic. That will enable me when we have other scenes here, I'll be able to see all the mics here as I switch scenes. So I'll go back to the plus icon here and add ASIO input capture. And we can click OK. And here again, we select ASIO for all. And now here again, skip multi-track 1 and 2, and let's try multi-track 3. As you can see here, ASIO input capture, which we'll rename this one to guest mic here. But you can see here it's inactive. So let's try number 3 and see. Nothing happens there. Number 4, nothing. Oh, I just realized my mic is muted. So I'm going to unmute the guest mic on my Procaster. So we'll go back to try number 3, and you can see is active. So we select Procaster Pro. So we are selecting Pro 3 main multi-track, and you can see that is moving. That's what that means that mic is tied to that multi-track, and we do the same. You can see they are both there, and click OK. And let's go here to the ASIO input capture and right click, and let's rename this and say call it guest mic and press enter. So I'm going I want to test something. I'm going to mute the one of the mics and see if it gets also muted here, or it stops, it goes dormant on this side. So I just muted the guest mic, and you can see I muted it in the Rodecaster Pro, and you can see here it's now dormant, but the host mic is still going. And now I'm going to mute the host in the Rodecaster and unmute guest, and let's see what happens. And now as I speak, you can see it has switched. Now only the guest mic is active. The other one is dormant because I've muted in the Rodecaster. It's now receiving a signal. And that's what we want when we start like programming so that they can switch automatic. That is what we want. Each mic tied to a very specific multi-track. And yeah, so this is it for this class. Next we will be adding audio output capture, and yes, we'll be adding the audio output capture.